Hi everyone, and welcome to the second episode of this series. My name is Burgess, and we are here on the Conscious Pioneer today. As always, well, as it has been so far, I don't really know exactly what's going to come up, only that I'm going to share what is authentic to me in the moment. So let's see what that is. I also feel like I want these podcasts to be experiential, and therefore I would like to invite everyone here to take a deep breath in. Just notice the space around them and notice yourself in your environment. Notice the details of your environment, just looking around you, looking at specific points, and then referencing that to your body. And doing that with a few different items, objects in your room, and a particular point in your body, so say the corner of the chair and the tip of your nose. Noticing any smells around you. Really tasting the air as you breathe it in. Notice any sounds, the sound of my voice. And notice how you're feeling in this moment. What the clothes on your skin feel like. The point of your body which is touching the ground. And feeling that sense of gravity on your body, of groundedness. Just taking some time to settle in, to share this space together, to be here in the moment with me. And to set aside some time to either listen to this while you're watching, while you're cooking something, while you're doing some cleaning, while you're in the gym, maybe not in the gym. Whatever it is, just note how long this podcast is and just think I'm just going to spend this next however long being with this podcast, being with Steffi and myself, and giving me some nourishing time. Because what I really want to offer the world is that sense of calmness, that sense of ease and grace, and feeling that deep love and reverence that we have for ourselves. So allowing ourselves to fully come into this moment here and share this together. So I feel like I didn't fully introduce myself last week, and I would like to take the time to do that. So my name is Stephanie Burgess. My full name is Stephanie Alexandra Rose Burgess, and I am 33 years old. I am born on the 22nd of November 1990. I don't actually know what star sign I am because my mother didn't, well, I'm not going to blame it all on my mum, right? But no one marked, well, I don't have, on the birth certificates in England, we don't have time of birth, we just have date. I imagine if I called the hospital, they might be able to give me that information. So that's one thing on my list. However, when I have recently tuned into what time I was born, asking my own higher self what time or what astrologically made the most sense for me, what I resonated with was 5:53 a.m., which makes me a Scorpio in the Western astrology. And I'm a Sagittarius. Oh no, am I a Virgo? So my astrology has been confused for most of my life because I'm on the cusp. So within minutes, it changes from Scorpio to Sagittarius in the Western astrology, and Virgo to Sagittarius in the Vedic astrology. But so in Western, I'm a double Scorpio, if we go with that time. My moon is in Capricorn. My Jupiter is in it's in a really good sign. It's exalted. So where would that be? Leo? Y'all, I need to remember all this stuff. Anyway, most of you may not even know what I'm on about. But I have studied astrology to some degree and human design and the gene keys because I was always searching for who I was and what my purpose in life is, and how to really live it out and how to be the best version of myself. So I'm 33. I'm currently living in Birmingham, England. I am in my mum's house at the moment, and my house is next door, literally. This wall is my house, and it's being renovated right now. I've had it for a couple of years. Well, it's not being renovated right now. Right now, it's just sitting there. We've just had a new boiler and heating system put in a couple of months ago. And there's next steps to happen, but right now I'm just taking some time to be easy. I'm doing the human reset with Master Jadi, and I'm also leading meditations on Monday with some people in that group, and also not necessarily, but people who are familiar with Master's work. So I feel like I'm taking a step up by doing Master's program and also leading some meditations, leading a group myself. And the meditation went great on Monday. And so the human reset, the Master Jadi. So again, let's just take another deep breath in, because I don't want this podcast to get very heady or, I want to tell my story. I want to express myself. And at the same time, I want to be able to help others with this podcast by bringing them into a calmer state. So I would love you to learn about me. I feel like I want this podcast to feel like anyone who's watching is like my best friend. And I'm just talking to you about what's going on with me. And I'd love to hear from you. And, I just want it to be that kind of vibe, because I feel like authenticity and just that connectivity with people is just so valuable. And some people may not have it as much as others. So this podcast is a little bit like that. And there's not a ton of us who are doing this more spiritual work in terms of just doing the deep work on ourselves to remove everything that is in the way of us fully arriving in ourselves, as letting go of our generational patterns, our trauma patterns. And it's it's hard work, so it doesn't have to be but it's what I'm doing, and it's kind of what I want to share about at the moment, because it helps me also learn about what I'm going through if I'm sharing it and talking about it. So doing keto diet at the moment with human reset, and that is high fats, high protein, and very low carb. I think I'm on day 3 or 4 now, and I'm really enjoying it. I feel like having higher fats just really... I'm just going to take my... As much as I love a high pony, for this moment, I just feel like we're going low. Give my neck a break here. This is heavy hair. Yeah. Human reset. Master Jadi is my teacher, and I met him 5 years ago it was at this time that I really realized that this was the way to go for me, the place where I needed to go, the being that I needed to be. And this was the path that would really allow me to get there and do this and be myself and show up in the world and let go of everything. And that's what happened to me when I met Mars. Started on my journey, and now I'm starting to help others on the journey as well. So I'm really feeling honored and privileged to do so, and that's just wonderful. Yeah, I'm really starting to discover what life is about and how I can really flourish. And it takes time. It really takes patience to really discover who you are and how to live in the world in a way that's like just exactly who you should be and not everything that you've been in the past. So it's really reconfiguring, understanding how you are to be in the world and how you are to direct yourself and manage yourself and do things differently. What would the new version of me do? How would she react? How would she respond? How would she be feeling in this moment? And also observing when things are coming up. So allowing them to come up into your field, noticing them, just experiencing them, and then allowing them to drop away, not holding on to them, not holding on to the depression or the anxiety or the stress or whatever it is that's coming up for you. Just allowing it to be there and to experience it and then to let it go. That's the true way of being. So I'm just going to let words flow. I feel like at the moment, if I don't think about it, I'm really present in time and I just let the words go and I just move my mouth, and I feel like this is what I'm here to do, because otherwise it's too much effort for me. It's just like hard to think and conceive. So I'm just going to start talking and we'll see how this goes. I feel like I've started to get into a little bit of a flow here, but I'm just acknowledging every one of you on this call. It's as if I'm seeing you in your little pockets of the world and just giving you some light, some love energies, some higher source energy for you to come higher into yourself. Some people won't understand what this means, but for those of us who are tapped in more, we have abilities, that we can really help each other elevate. It works on a frequency level, and that's the work that I do as well. I work as a frequency healer. So if you're feeling anything right now, that is true. That is true. You're feeling some elevation frequencies, you're feeling some vibrations, you're feeling a way that you can move forward without holding on to your past. So just noticing your body, noticing your heart, noticing your breath, noticing where you are in the room, and noticing your feet. Breathing up the earth's energy through your feet, through your toes, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your buttocks, your hips, your abdomen, all the way up through your spine, your ribs, the insides of your ribs, the outside of your ribs, your lungs, your throat, your clavicle, your neck, your jawline, your facial features, your nose, your eyes, your lips, your cheeks, your head, your scalp, your brain stem, pineal gland, and the nape of your neck. And this is where I like to spend quite a bit of time, on the nape of your neck, because it's like it's a portal or a plug for other things to come in. So we really want to clear out that so that other things are not hanging about in that space. So just taking a moment to notice the nape of your neck. Notice how it feels. Just working on your nervous systems. Just like, I'm just seeing a cooling system. Removing any static. And helping you just come fully into your body. So we are spirit bodies, spirit people, spirit humans. We are limitless essences, and we come into this life. We get gifted these human bodies. We incarnate into them. And then when we leave them, we leave our bodies, but we do not die. We do not die, we're endless. We go back to source, but we always have our own essence. Everyone here has their own essence, and it's your job to bring that whole unique essence into this world, and it's my job to help you do so. Yep. Isn't that cool? Like it's only recently that I've really discovered what I'm here to do. And it was in Ibiza this year in October when I went to a Master Jadi retreat. This is the second year I've been to Ibiza. And I just wow. I realized my power and I realized my gifts. I started seeing things in a new way, and I started, we started working on others, and I just got such good feedback from other people about their experience of my work and how powerful it was. And then since then, it's been a case of me honing that. And I did work as a healer in the past, and there's a lot to tell you about my story. Some of it may be relevant. I studied philosophy. I got a first in philosophy at University of Nottingham. Then I went to New York and got my master's in fine arts. It was technically in design and technology, and I worked on coding, like processing. I worked in virtual reality, learned physical computing, and was working on wearable technology. And I combined wearables. Well, technically, virtual reality is a wearable, but it was biofeedback. So I used this spiel used to be so what I used to do all the time. So my project is about using the heartbeat and feeding into the virtual reality experience. And then I hosted meditations on the virtual reality experience using the chakras. And then the idea behind this was using our own source of biofeedback into meditative devices so that we could really ingrain and entrain ourselves into our beings better. And it was also a little bit of a futuristic project, thinking about how when we have virtual reality on all the time, if we go down that route, if you add in the heartbeat and add a meditation, and at the end it could really help you integrate back into the physical world. So it was a little bit of like a conceptual art piece as well. And then I went to San Francisco after New York, was pursuing virtual reality. Oh, let me take a breath here. Oh. Yeah, so more of my story was fell in with a group consciousness hacking, went to Burning Man, drank ayahuasca, realized that I didn't want to put technology on people's faces. Nature is actually the answer, so why would I be doing this? Then from there on, also realized that if I wanted to be of use to anyone, I needed to heal myself first. So it's been 13 years since I had my first near-death experience that I can remember, where I was in a car accident, and I was doing like 70 on the motorway. My dad was dying of lung cancer at the time, and I'd just come back from seeing mum and dad. I was driving back to Nottingham, was going to see some friends for dinner. I was a little bit late, but I was also just like, when you've got someone deteriorating in front of your eyes, it is quite a challenge. And I was 21 at the time. No, that's wrong. I wasn't even 20. I was 20? I was 19, 20. Yeah. And and then my car, I totaled my car. I was on the motorway. A car started driving from the fast lane. I was indicating to go into the middle lane, and he just went from the fast lane right into the middle lane at the same time I was indicating. And he was going super fast, and it was raining and it was dark as well. And then I swerved, and then I kept swerving. And I hadn't been trained on how to swerve properly, so everything I was doing was making it worse. And then all of a sudden, this is like, all right, this is it. I'm done. So I surrendered myself to the universe, and it was actually a very euphoric experience in the end. But I really thought I was going to die. And then I smashed my car into the fast lane of the motorway. And I was facing the oncoming traffic, thinking some lorry was just going to like bang into me and it would be the end of both of us. But the guy behind had seen the whole thing and slowed down the traffic, and then he ended up stopping. And then, it was really like guardian angel kind of vibe. And he's like, that guy was a maniac. He didn't do anything wrong. So, I had that moment, and then my dad died a few months after that. And then I studied philosophy, and I found some solace in that. It was something that kept me going, something I could put my mind to, that was for sure. But it wasn't, it was a struggle. It's been a struggle a lot of my life to deal with the anxiety mainly. And I think people can really think of that as not much of an issue. But anxiety, if you got it and it's bad, it's really bad. It's really hard to deal with. Like super challenging because you're always in your head. You're always thinking ahead. You're always trying to plan. There are certain times when you have some calm, but the anxiety also then leads to, well, I actually jumped between anxiety and depression, and I just never knew who I was. And I always needed to be in a relationship, as I mentioned in the last podcast, and I just couldn't ever find my own feet. Sometimes I did, and I was definitely, if I achieved a fair amount in terms of my degrees and I guess my degrees, but also just in terms of the amount that I've been able to quantum leap. And I say that as in just completely shift versions of myself and come into the version that I am now. And I'm just continually moving forward and jumping into new versions. And that is done on the spiritual realm. And then you integrate that into your body. And it's taken me a long time to really, I would say, become more comfortable talking about all of this, because I've always felt like this is my purpose to really, it's about, so much with the healing, and much of my family and people around me, like it was never, I mean, a lot of the people that have always been around me are very straight down the line, intellectual, and kind of find it hard to fathom someone who is taking that different route. And some people have found it, had let me know in the past that, it's rubbish that I'm doing, and, that sort of thing. And so now it's just cool that I'm strong enough and willing and here to step into that part of me even more. So yeah, the hair has come out entirely now. Just feeling my neck feeling a little bit, not sure if I'm happy about this position. I'm also having to look up here. We will survive. So how's everyone feeling? I almost feel like this should be a live thing that I do, and I can just communicate with you guys at the same time if you have any questions. That would be really fun. I'm just excited to see where all this evolves into, and also I'm observing myself now that I'm in this position of hosting meditations, doing podcasts, starting to really feed this and give it some life. Just really exciting to notice and observe all my old patterning that is saying that this is bullshit. This is, why do you even want to do this? You're not having any effect on anyone. What's the point? Why don't you just run the other direction and try and do something else? And it wouldn't matter what I would be doing, I would still be feeling this in myself. And it's a protection mechanism, I believe. It's not easy to shine your light. It's not easy to maintain that. I know that in my past lives, I have been stoned to death. This is what the information I got the other day for doing healing work and for having intelligence and for having power. And there are many lifetimes where I've done that, and I've just been put in prisons and haven't been able to fulfill. It hasn't been the time, but right now I feel more safe than ever doing it. And what I know that I need to do is to really own this power. I got to own this power because no one else is going to do that. And I want to share that with all of you. Whatever it is you're doing, or whatever it is that you're experiencing, whatever it is you feel drawn to do. And if you really want to build something, it takes consistency and time. And I really recommend you to work on your body first. Well, not necessarily body, it is great to have, I've learned a lot from being consistent in the gym for sure. It's really, really beautiful process. And it actually all starts with the frequencies. It really starts with who you are and observing these patterns within you, and then learning about exponential intelligence and working with people that can really help you release these things on a deeper level. Yeah. I want to talk about appearance for a minute because this is something that's really been coming up for me lately. So I'm on the human reset right now. And this is a video podcast, so if you guys go on YouTube, you can see me. If you are on Spotify or Apple Music, you can't. I have really been not wanting to see myself on camera, and I have really been not enjoying seeing myself on camera lately. Now, when we do the human reset and we do masters work and things like this, you start to release things that aren't you. So you start to see things like your aren't in you. You start to see just garbage coming out, and you can visually see it as it's exporting from your system. And that's no joke. So you start to look very old before you go young. Like, there are age reducing frequencies that exist, and you can integrate them into your system. However, when you do, you kind of have to do everything that your system would have inputted into that experience. Like, you have to kind of run the program first, because we literally are systems, programming systems. We are humans, and we have programs running. This is the fact. And we have these genetic programs that, like osteoarthritis, like I have that running in my family. So I have to experience that, the elements of that before I have to experience the elements of that before they release. So I have to kind of get achy, kind of feel the crankiness in my bones and my structure, and then it just, boom, it's not going to happen to me anymore. That's how it works. And it's nuts. You literally have this decades worth of healing that you experience within days. And it's miraculous. It is. And science hasn't caught up to it yet. But we're on the way. We're on the way. So let's all take a deep breath in again, just making sure you're noticing your body, noticing where you are in the space. A lot of this work is about integration of our spirit and our body, and really coming into present moment time. So depression is when you're behind time, anxiety is when you're ahead of time. And if you can collapse that and just come into the present moment time, that's how you can be really, really efficient. You don't have to think about things so much in advance. They just come to you when you need to act on them. So you don't have everything kind of piled on you, and you don't have to make tons of lists. I mean, sometimes lists help, but if you start operating from this way, it becomes very, very, very efficient. And everything you do, you just act on it when it comes to you. Sometimes get a little information, like you're going to do this the next week, or you just see these visions and things come to you, and you allow space for that by meditating and asking questions of yourself, sitting in the mirror, really being nourishing with yourself, taking baths. In the gym, just allowing space, especially in nature, to just be present. I always used to, and I do struggle with it sometimes as well, especially when I'm detoxing, spending too much time in my head and just overthinking things. But just like, even when you're in nature, noticing your feet on the ground, noticing your glutes working, noticing different parts of your body, noticing the birds and the details and the leaves and the beautiful flowers and everything. And then you start to really center yourself with the frequencies of nature. And that's what we are, and that's what we should be. But we have so many toxins running in us, and so many things that we're eating that aren't beneficial, so many EMFs, so many things that just are not helpful, that are, everything builds up. And that's why I'm doing keto right now, because it's helping me really cleanse myself spiritually, because we're doing massive frequency work and physically and mentally and everything. And we really need these times to just stop the direction that we're going in, like eating too many sweets or chips or whatever. And I started to feel that I was gaining momentum into something that maybe wouldn't be so healthy for me in January. So I'm really thankful for this. And I feel like keto is just really useful to just reset your system. You know, I think these things can be really good to just like, okay, I'm going to do whatever it is for a few days. Especially keto is really good. And I need to learn to take more breaths here. I do have lung issues, or in the past my dad died of lung cancer, and I know that my lungs my lungs are quite weak. They are getting better. They're getting better as time goes on. But I had a session with Ron and D'Amico recently. It wasn't the recent one, it was a couple of months ago. And he mentioned, he was like, so what's going on with your lungs? And there was some issues with chemical poisoning. So like cleaning products. Everybody, I know, I just would love for people to understand that cleaning products that are not natural are very toxic to us and the environment. We breathe them in, it goes into our lungs. Our lungs don't know what to do with them. So it sticks in our lungs. And that's what happened to me. So I had some toxic chemicals that I breathed in when I was much younger. Not even that toxic. They're literally just general cleaning products, which are very toxic. And I'm so sensitive to smells now. If anyone's using toxic deodorant or putting stuff on their skin that they can't, you just look at the ingredients. And the more and more you do that, the more that it builds up. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's things like drinking the right water, not having corn syrup, all of these things that our body does not know how to process, that has to go somewhere. And our bodies also don't know how to reject it as well. So that's what stays in our system until we do something like keto diet or a cleanse or fast or whatever. And that helps our system regenerate. It helps our system get rid of all of these pockets that we've stored this cellular information and then release it. Yeah. So it's really cool. So if anyone wants to jump in on Human Reset next time, let me know. And I would love to bring along a team of us to give more active support. This is what I'm doing for some people actually in the program right now. Yeah, but they are more like people who are familiar with Master's work. And yeah. So I also want everyone to know that we are more powerful than we've ever been led to believe, and more beautiful and more outrageously phenomenal. And that is part of what I want people to understand about themselves and to really live into and really to understand, because we all have an important role to play here. We all have something to deliver, something to give, something to offer, something to show, something to speak for, something to tell, something to exemplify, something to express. We all have these efficiencies and unique gifts that we have to offer the world. And I just really want everyone to know that this is your time to come into that, and you're supported, you're fully supported in that. And please shine your light. Please come online. Please do all the things for yourself that are going to benefit you and everyone else around you. And let's do this all together. Let's do this all together, my loves. Like, it's going to be so beautiful, this earth that we're creating. There's a huge transition happening. And every time I say this, it's just the truth. And I just have to just keep saying it, because sometimes it can feel like we're going backwards, but really we're going forwards. It's the Fibonacci, it's the Fibonacci sequence, right? We're going up and down, and then we start escalating up. And then we're just like, and we go down again, at some point. But we are like, we're on our way to a new earth, and we get to usher it in. We cannot usher it in unless we fully own ourselves, our own unique presence, our own unique gifts. And we can't do that unless we're doing frequency work and healing ourselves from the inside out. And we can't do that unless we're really loving ourselves and really tuned in with our spirit. So this is part of what this program is, this podcast is about. It's like, you know, guys, I just want to talk about it. We are fucking incredible. Excuse my language. We are incredible beings and we need to come online now. So what is it that you have to offer? What is your gift? Who are you? What is your name? What are the things that you have to offer this world? What are your true gifts? How can you step into your leadership more? How could you step out of your comfort zone a little bit more? How can you heal yourself? How can you improve your relationships? How can you just make one step to being a better version of yourself today? And not putting pressure on yourself, right? Because it's not about that. It's about giving yourself that love and that nurturing and that take the pressure off kind of vibe so that your spirit can take over. It's not about like thinking, oh, what can I do? How can I push forward? How can I be in this masculine way of being? Because that's the shift. That's the true shift. The women, we have to really come into our femininity. And how do we do that? We do that by tapping into our sensuality, tapping into being receiver, tapping into releasing and just magnetizing things toward us rather than willing it and pushing it and pushing things up the road and up the hill and trying to get somewhere and produce things and really come into our masculine. And I'm not saying that we can't like have muscles and work out in the gym and do stuff, absolutely, but it all has to come from this place of receptivity and really being aligned with space and time and aligned with our own spirit and being aligned with our own essence. So that is the thing that drives us. That is the thing that is the driving force behind it, rather than our willpower and our mind and our mental energy. When something hasn't come from the place of true authenticity, and maybe someone else's idea or someone else is pushing you and giving you that encouragement, but it really comes from sitting with yourself, giving yourself that time and space. And before you can even move forward with anything and like move this ship along, you have to really let go of the stuff inside of you that isn't you, and really claim your body, claim your cells, really detox your system so that you can allow the space, create the space for your spirit to fully come into you, for your essence to really arrive, for you to really arrive. Do you know what I'm saying? Give me a hell yeah if you know what I'm saying. And so guys, get it done. Like, be yourselves, shine your light, be who you're meant to be. And, you know, we can rock this system. It's getting rocked. The whole world is getting rocked. The system's getting rocked. And you get to be in tune with that. You get to be the one that can really know themselves, really emanate who they are, be the leader. I feel like I'm saying the same thing, but I just don't think there's anything wrong with that. I feel like we all need to know and realize our power. That is the truth of it. And we need to come together as a community and develop this within ourselves and develop this in our community and support each other as we all take those steps. Those really, really can be really scary steps into really owning ourselves and doing things a different way and trusting ourselves and trusting that we're going to find what we need by following our path of truth and our path of excitement and our path of honor, and also giving ourselves freaking grace when we're going through it and we're releasing and we're detoxifying and we are like, you know, in bed for days and we're in pain and, you know, and it's not about going to the doctor. I mean, maybe sometimes you need to go to the doctor. Sure. I don't really do that. When I have something coming up for me, very often it's just, I know that it's releasing from me. So I don't have to necessarily go and get a checkup. I just know that like this arthritis is moving through my body so that I don't have to experience it when I'm older. And I just am so tapped in with my spirit that I know that I don't have to worry and have anxiety about it and then go to doctors and after doctor not knowing what it was. And I feel like in the past I had that experience. You know, I've had MRI. I had issues with my neck, MRI scans, blah, 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 blah. Nothing, went on opiates. It's just, it's not going to solve the problem. And maybe it will. Maybe you find a good Western doctor, but I definitely recommend more alternative systems and more like energy healing. You can have a session with me, have a session with Mars. There's Emmy Sajadi, Saki Sajadi, there's James, and there's James McDonald and Rob Baines. Yeah. So those people are great to learn from. And especially Master Jadi, he was the awakener on my path, and he's my teacher, and I'm an XI apprentice now, Exponential Intelligence. And I am just very happy to be talking about this stuff and just expressing this so that other people may be able to find a way to be their best selves as well. And yeah, and part of me is like, yeah, well, is this really what I want to do? And yeah, I don't know, it's coming out anyway, and this is where we are. And there's a lot of things in life that I love, and this is going to evolve, but this is something that I've chosen to do and be consistent with for now. And it wasn't just a whim. I'd been thinking about a podcast for a while, and it just makes sense, that if I can reach more people and just express myself, this is cool. It's part of being cool, part of a learning process. I get to express, I get to show up even when I don't feel like showing up. I get to learn a lot about sound and visuals and audio. Audio and sound are the same, and marketing, and putting myself out there and feeling really uncomfortable about it. And, no, like angles and things, and feeling like I don't look that attractive, and doing it anyway because we're human. We don't have to be perfect before we start delivering things. We don't have to have it all figured out. We don't have to have la da 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 da. We don't have to have all the money. We don't have to do it XYZ. We don't have to spend all our time studying some degree. We don't have to do all this. We can just get going. And this is my encouragement to you, to get going, to heal yourself, to take the steps, to really, really love yourself, to give yourself that nourishment. And to, if you're doing things that are out of alignment, I would say just give yourself a break from that. Even if you feel like you definitely can't, like, no way, that's definitely a sign that you maybe want to explore that a little bit more. And I feel the fear of, like, no way could I do that because of X, Y, and Z. And then just like, well, what's the worst that could happen? And just keep asking that, what's the worst that could happen? And what's the best that could happen? What could really possibly be good about this? What could I gain if I took that step that might feel very, very scary or feel like it's impossible for me? What would that be? How could I really fully step into myself? Or how can I just nurture more aspects of myself that I've been putting by the wayside? How can I just fully own myself and take steps towards doing that, and take difficult actions to cutting some things out of my life? Maybe it's foods, maybe it's people, maybe it's your job, maybe it's habits, and just taking it day by day, not putting that pressure on yourself, but just sitting with yourself, maybe in front of the mirror, like, hey, yeah, maybe it's hard to look at myself. Okay, it's hard to look at myself. Okay, I'm still going to sit with myself and look at myself and tell myself that I love myself. I'm still going to sit and look at myself and tell myself that I'm there for you, and what do we need? What do you need? And see what pops up, see what arrives, and know that you can actually trust your intuition. You can trust that deeper sense that you have of yourself, that inner knowing, that inner knowledge, that depth that you have to you that maybe you've shut off. Yeah. And you can really trust that. You can really trust yourself. You can really own yourself. And if you don't, someone else will. Someone will own you or try to own you. And that's not going to be great. And people are going to try and control you. So how about we own ourselves? How about we really shine? How about we let go of everything that we don't need? Our fears, our lack, our pains, our genetic issues, hereditary issues, How about we just put the work in? Put our head down, do the work, fall in love with ourselves first, and then watch the world conspire, the universe conspire to meet us in our glory. How about we let go of the toxic relationships that we have? How about we just really take care of our body? Spend time in nature, go to the gym, spend time with self-massage. I've been doing a lot of self-massage lately. And I mean with a roller and a ball, and just having to self-work out so many muscles and joints and things that have been causing me a lot of pain lately. And it feels like it's been related to this feeling of clamping or being clamped in this, like being in lack. My mom has just arrived. So my mom has arrived home. I feel like that's the time to let this finish now. I feel like I was on a little bit of a roll there, but I got distracted. So I was talking about clamping. So I feel like in my experience, it's like my body's feeling like a clamp, like there's this clamp around me, and it's this feeling of lack. And it's like this. And every time I've experienced like this feeling of, or spent some time with it, energetically removing it, it just kind of comes out and then comes back. And I've noticed this aspect within myself that feels like I want to hold on to that because it feels safe. It's the thing that I know. I feel safer holding on to this. But what am I holding on to? Lack. The old me. What am I holding on to? Lack. It's the old me. It's the old version of me. It's the scared version of me. It's the person that doesn't trust what is here. And to step into and allow this new version of me to fully arrive and expand. You can't expand if you're holding on to things that are just causing contraction, and that's what this is. And I'm being loving with myself. It's deep stuff that we do when we do human reset. I think we're on day 3, so yeah, it's really the beginnings of the deep work. Although I have been detoxing for a few weeks before this, for sure. Yeah, so just experiencing that. And I think for everyone, just take a deep breath in. And just see if you can feel that expansion of your spirit. Just asking the question, how can I connect to my purest self even stronger? How can I connect to my limitless essence and really integrate that into my body right now? What can I let go of in this moment in order to allow myself to shift into a higher dimension of myself so I can experience more love, more generosity, more kindness, more grace? How can I really arrive in my body, trust myself, trust my body, trust the fact that I'm here, and give myself the honor that I deserve, the truth, the love, the care, and the kindness. And see if you can sense some warmness in your body, some warmth. Just notice where that is. And then see if you can just maybe expand that out a little bit into different places in your body. Just feeling how much love there is around for us, for you, and for the people watching this. As a community, we've all been attracted to this for a reason. We're all here for a reason. We are all important. We all deserve love and deserve to have this wonderful life, have blessings come to us, to have a really beautiful future and present, and to be in the present and experience our life, to really be present for our life and the gifts that it offers us, and the joys and the cups of teas and the beautiful food and the friendships and the development and the growth and the sun and the sea and the nature and all the wonderful gifts. And may we all just sit and feel that expansiveness and feel like how wonderful it all could be and how wonderful it is, and just feel like we have great things coming for us, and to sit in that, to bathe in that, to have this willingness for it to arrive for us so that we can open ourselves to it rather than shut down, you know? Have this optimism that life is going to give us what we want and it's all coming to us anyway. So we just have to be present for it. And to be more present with it, we just get to let go of things that aren't us, that are in the way of our systems being this fully integrated versions of ourselves, these human bodies. So just noticing now our spines, the nape of our neck. Just doing some final clearing. Just sitting in some silence here comfortably. Just closing your eyes for a moment. Feeling the ground and the earth, the gravity, the clothes on your skin, the love in your heart, the life in your body. And feeling you, who you are. And opening our eyes, noticing the surroundings around us, just noting where we are in time and space, noticing some details and how they are in relation to your body, noticing any sounds and smells. And again, the skin, your skin, noticing what's touching your body. And if you want, just giving yourself a little hug. Letting yourself know that you are here for you and you are loved. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me here. Again, my name is Steffi Burgess. You can learn more about meditations and sessions on my website, steffiburgess.com. At the moment, I'm hosting meditations on Mondays at 9 p.m. with a specific group, and after February, I may extend this out to a further reach of people, or I may lead a group at a different time, perhaps 9 p.m. on Thursday. This is GMT time. Or I may explore different options. I would love to have more people meditate with me live, as it's a really fun experience. And also I'm just taking it easy and not putting myself into, just starting with a small group first, which is what I'm doing. The sessions are available on my website. You can learn more about what I do there. And my best friend is in town. I'm going to go see her, I think, very shortly. And we may do a podcast together, so that may be the next one. That would be cool. Yeah. So in the meantime, I'm wishing you and sending you so much love and empowerment. And I hope that you have a wonderful 2 weeks for the next podcast. I'm doing these. I seem to be releasing them on Sundays, but we'll see when this one gets released. When I say Sundays, I'm doing them every 2 weeks. But I'm going to kind of let that flow a little bit easier. If I feel like doing more, I might do more. But it will be at least every 2 weeks. Thank you so much for joining me. Is there anything else that wants to be said in this space? God loves you. Jesus loves you. And that doesn't have to be religious in any way. It is just the truth. Everything you need is within you. And everything you have is around you. You just need to expand into it, and then you become it. Expand your essence, expand your being. Love who you are. Be as present as you can to enjoy the moments. And I will see you next time. So much love. From me, Steffi. Bye for now. Bye.